Live in Leesburg, and I am Kristen. I'm a community member. I'm one of the founding members of CSL Leesburg, and I'm so thrilled to bring you and open you up into our service today. Today, we are celebrating our yearly theme of living everyday wonder. And for the month, it is focusing on work. And today's talk will be given by our illustrious Charlene Banks, our wonderful spiritual director, who's bringing us to a talk on creating a life that matters. So please join us now. We're so glad. And we want you to feel free to add any prayer requests into the comments box on our chat box. Anything that you would like to have prayed over later in the service, we provide our community prayer called a spiritual mind treatment. And we invite you now to get comfortable, relax, get a cup of coffee, come back in a second, and enjoy our opening of service.
Please join us as we create our sacred space. We set our intentions of deepening into our awareness and practice of our 5 pillars of spiritual living by lighting this candle in our virtual world. Our first pillar is sacred study, represented by the divine quality of truth. We use this pillar to recognize the importance of an open mind and the power of our minds. The second pillar is affirmative prayer, represented by the divine quality power. This pillar honors the power of prayer in our daily lives. Our third pillar is meditation and the divine quality of peace. This pillar reminds us of the importance of meditation and the peace we feel when we quiet our minds. The fourth pillar is circulation and the divine quality of life. We know that the great law of circulation works in our lives. As we give, so shall we receive. And the fifth pillar is sacred service and the divine quality of love. This pillar affirms our call to be of service to our world as we see through the eyes of love. Let us close our eyes as we bless this sacred space and our time together. As we weave each of these pillars of spiritual living into our service today, may they deepen our own spiritual practices of study, prayer, meditation, circulation, and service, expanding our minds and our hearts to the 5 divine qualities of truth, power, peace, life, and love. We also bless everyone who made our service possible today and everyone in attendance. May the energy of love that is generated here bless everyone abundantly, and so it is.
And now it's time for our meditation. And just like that last slide said, welcome home, I'm going to lead you into a homecoming sort of meditation. And so I ask you right now to find and to create a space where you can tune in to your home center. So as we breathe and as we just sit here for a minute, ask yourself, what is your intention in this meditation? Is there something you'd like to cultivate within you? Maybe something you heard from the opening of our seatbelt check, that Elaine calls it, when we remember why and what CSL is all about. So maybe is there more study Do you feel that your intention is to learn more, an intention to serve more, an intention to love more, an intention to bring more peace to yourself and to others around you? And so with that intention, I ask you to check in with yourself from sort of the inside out. Starting with finding, where did that question well up from? Was it from your mind? Was it from your heart? Did you just feel a knowing just move through you? And starting with awareness in the feet, following the rhythm of the breath to bring you down, to feel where the feet are planted on the ground, and to feel the life force that is under the surface. And as that life source begins to bubble and awaken, feel it moving up through your legs, just this awareness that the life force is moving through you and animating you all the time. It's just below the surface and below your awareness where there's so much external information coming to us, but inside, there's this animation, this heartbeat, the movement of blood vessels and blood throughout your body, the electrical impulses, the nerves and the muscle fibers and all the parts of the body that are animated by life force. And so feel this life force moving through your legs and up through your pelvis and your abdomen. Just to have an intention to connect with this life force that bubbles and animates you. And just feel like this is a homecoming, that as you return to yourself and your awareness, feeling this animation of you, now we bring it around you. And there's this energy field around you, like an energy donut, so to speak. This field that flows up and around. And with our intention, we can balance and harmonize and create space in this energy field. It's the field of potentiality. And it's where we can let go of anything that no longer serves us and our higher purpose for being here. Maybe there's an old belief. Maybe there's a cultural conception about anything, really, anything that is acculturated for us and built in through society and part of this collective consciousness that no longer serves the highest good. Maybe it's a perception and an awareness of ourselves and how we can contribute to the world around us. A limitation we put on ourselves. We can just say, no, thank you. We can plant little seeds of possibility in our energy field. The energy field that buoys us through life. And so with one final intention, plant one seed of divine magnificence that you are, and come home to the divine place of you. And so it is. And now we have Leah.
This song is actually co-write. It's the refrain was written by David Roth, and I just kind of filled in the middle spot. So once it becomes familiar, please sing along. This is not what I was intending to sing initially, but I'm listening, and I'm with you, Kristen. Thank you for the invitation to come home. What are you searching for? What do you hope to find? It's so near. It's right here. What is your true desire? What can't you live without? It's all yours. True heart, remain open and pure. Come home. Will you come home? Will you come home to your heart? Will you come home? Will you come home? Will you come home to your own heart? It may feel you're lost at sea, or perhaps that the world is on fire. It's alright. There is a light that still shines in the darkest of nights. Just come home. Will you come home? Will you come home to your heart? Will you come home? Will you come home? Will you
That was amazing, Leah. Ah. So I have to like what? So the whole what are you searching for? Come home. The whole story. It. You guys, you make me change things is what happens. But there's a story that I printed out I want to tell you about right now before I even go into details about the topic. Alignment. Leah's song had it about sailing, the sails. Listen, what does a sailor do when they're sailing a boat? The current of the winds and the water surging all around a sailor are constantly changing. Very difficult to predict and totally out of his control. So you get the picture. It's kind of like us, right? But the sailor has experience on his side. He understands the nature of the currents and the nature of the wind and the nature of the water. So he knows it precisely how to trim his sails and adjust his rudder so that the current carries him exactly where he wants to go. That's the come home. I mean, wow, guys. And so it may seem as though the great currents of your world are wild and turbulent too. Sometimes the currents carry you in the right direction, but more often it seems as though you are struggling against them. You feel so helpless, you simply sigh in resignation when things go awry. But part of you knows there is more. Part of you knows that you were not born. Part of you knows that you were not born as a child of spirit to be a helpless victim, blown about haphazardly by random forces. Part of you knows that you are meant to master the art of sailing, that you were meant to soar gracefully. Come home to what you know. And this is from the 12 Conditions of a Miracle by Todd Michael. But as Spirit wants to do, it speaks to us and it speaks through us. But our job is to just turn within and listen. And so today's talk is creating a life that matters. And it's part of our monthly theme, as Kristen so beautifully stated, living a life of wonder with our work. And so let's talk about the word vocation. Vocation comes from the Latin root of, hold on, I wrote it down. Okay, vocare or voice. Now you all knew this. If you came up in America's schools, they taught us our Latin roots so that we could pass the SAT vocabulary test, right? So vocal, everything having to do with voice, vocare. Vocation then is our voice. Now, how many times have we thought that our vocation is really the way we use our voice? No, vocation, like the story I told you last week about the young man who in kindergarten was asked to draw a picture of what he wants to be when he grows up, and his parents were called in out of concern because my young friend drew a garbage truck and said, I want to be a garbage man because he only works on Fridays. And then they were like, sorry, bad news. They work all week. They just work on different streets. Now, I want to say something because at the time I thought it but didn't speak it. There's nothing wrong with being a garbage person. Nothing, absolutely nothing wrong with that. If your vocation, if what's calling you forth for you to do your good work is in the removal of trash from people's residences, because by doing that, you feel called to make the world a better place by keeping it neat and tidy, by making sure that all our refuse is taken to the proper location, sorted, recycled when possible. If that's what you're called here to do, then absolutely that is a perfectly valid and wonderfully supportive vocation. But you hear the difference between vocation and, what do I just want to do every day when I grow up? And so when we're called, when our voice, which is the divine energy within us, that has always been within us, That when Spirit decided, Charlene, and boop, here I am, with it came a particular set of skills that only I embody as Charlene. And I am to look within and to find what that is, let it bubble up within me, and let that be my voice, the way that I speak through my actions in this world. And that is when I create my life that matters. And as I speak for myself, so it is for you. And when Spirit had that divine idea called you, what particular set of skills, what facets of the divine were given to you specifically in the combination that is only you, for you to discover, to look within, discover, pull it out, tease it out, and speak it out. But notice that it all starts from within, because we are spiritual beings living in a spiritual world with 3D stuff around it. But first, it's spiritual first. We know this because Ernest Holmes said, amongst many things that Ernest Holmes has said, the word is not something that speaks itself. There is an intelligence that speaks the word. Therefore, the initial movement of the creative sequence is an absolute intelligence. That's the first thing that happens. First cause. That's the speaking of the word, and then the word. In fact, it goes like this. The starting point of all creation is the word of Spirit. The word is the concept, the idea, the image, or the thought of the divine happening in us. And then it's the self-knowing mind speaking itself into manifestation. The word back of everything is the initial cause. It's a sequential activity. Something has to happen first. And, in today's speak, it would be, oh, that don't just happen. That thing you see didn't just happen, right? What came first? The sequence, first the word, then the law, and then the thing. The word, the law, the thing. You don't see it unless it has already been thought about in spirit. And why am I pointing this out so deeply? Why am I spending so much time on this? Because without knowing the sequence of things, we could get caught up in the effects. We could get caught up in the effects. When Kristen took us through the meditation, she was mentioning, the conscious collective conscious has given us ideas that may or may not be helpful to us in this moment. There are ideas like white supremacy. It's an idea that doesn't have to be embraced by us. Think about every time you or I beat myself up. Well, wait. Is that the so-called patriarchy, or is it just white supremacy in general, or is it am I redoing some collective conscious idea which is false and putting it on myself and then feeling bad? Where'd this come from? Question everything, because not everything is meant for our highest good. So we pull the weeds. We pull the weeds, get rid of things that are not ours. They may have been placed there by society or a very well-meaning family member, who knows? But if it's there and it doesn't serve you, you get to pluck it out. And what are we left with when we pluck out all the things from our garden that don't serve us? We are left with fertile soil that is ready to receive any idea that is from our highest and best idea for ourselves. That's that sense, that notion that we get when we sit in our meditation and we ask Spirit to reveal to us what is mine to do. We look within and we ask. So that's the first step, isn't it? The first step is to go within It's the inward journey. We go within and we ask, what is coming through me as my voice? We recognize if there's any judgment there, and we just realize maybe that's a thought that's not mine. I mean, it's just nothing better than to realize, oh, I don't have to believe all these thoughts that are flying around. What? I could just watch them go by. Concept. They're not, every thought that comes by does not have to be attached to and believed. This just chatter. So we sit in the silence and we listen and we ask, what is mine? What's my particular set of skills? What's my voice? Because vocation is not a title. It's not a role. It's not a job. It's not even an occupation. It's the quiet yes that we get when we listen to our soul's calling. The quiet yes. And your life is always speaking to you. It's just sometimes we're so focused on the external world that we forget where all this stuff came from. That's the effect. We're interacting with the effect. If you want to interact with cause, well, go within and listen. And from there, we get these ideas, these yes moments, these little tingles, these little things that make us happy. And when we start to get in touch with those things, we pay more attention to our inner life than we do to the outward effects. Life changes drastically, and it changes quickly because there's no principle holding false things in place. Think about that. There's no principle holding something that's of errant idea, a false idea. There's no principle holding it in place. So if you believe that, let's say, the earth is flat, a false idea. Sorry, I'm sure none of us think that's true. But okay, if you think that the earth is not spherical, no, it's a flat platter. If you think that, you're free to think that, but it's an erroneous thought. And there's no underlying principle, there's no facts, there's no truth below that holding it in place. It's just a false idea that we grabbed and believed. It's just my example, but you can replace this with any example of your own. Anything like, I'm not lovable, I'm too old, I'm too young, I'm too short, too tall, too dark skinned, too light skinned, I'm not this enough or that enough, or I'm too this. All right, any thought like that, it's not based on truth. It's just an idea that grabbed on from these swirling consciousness, collective consciousness ideas about race or gender or something that made you think you're not good enough. The moment you let that go and realize the truth about yourself, then the underlying principle that it's based on, principles underlying that are true, are love, beauty, abundance. These are universal principles. They're true in all of the religious paths. All the traditions have this golden thread. We can trace it. Every story that's based on any morals, any high value, anything that's of high value to the human, those are our principles. We can just say that the divine, the principles of the divine are truth, beauty, love, compassion. Did I say love? Trust, all the high ideals. Anything like that vibrates very high on the frequency scale. It is the healing energy that comes through, dispels the darkness, raises us up, makes us feel better. It makes us closer to one another. It makes us hold one another in our highest esteem. And it is the most healing power. Love itself, all the other things are derivatives of love itself. That is the highest power on earth and in heaven and all around. Love is all we're made of. If we can do that, if we can let go of any false ideas and land back on love, then yes, you have made this world, or you created a life that matters. And why do I say that? Well, listen, if you show up after having done this inner work, you've done the inward journey, and you've identified the true you, what you're here to do. And it usually is uplifting others. And if it's not that, if it shows up as something more selfish, like, I just want that Ferrari, period. Okay. I just want a bunch of money, period. Well, keep going. There's nothing wrong with having beautiful things, but there's something underneath it that's even higher, which says, and from this overflow, I will bless others. Well, now it's a divine calling. And I'm still not sure about that Ferrari, but there's a way. There's a way to get that thing to bless others. If only the demonstration that I can manifest my dreams, and then you're an inspiration to others who also want to manifest their dreams. Not everybody wants a Ferrari. Not everybody, and that's fine. But the goal here is to uplift ourselves and humanity in that order. So you did the inward journey, you sat within, you listened, and you notice the thoughts that are coming through, and you choose with intention to follow the ones that uplift you and the rest of humanity. You follow that spark that says, do me, pick me. That helps us, that guides us to the right job. Knowing our vocation is who we are, and where do we get to express it? What 9 to 5 or 5 to 9 type of job you want, express it in the way that calls itself to you. And so that is our next step. We pour our marvelous light that we got when we were in our inward journey. We fill ourselves up from that source, and now it's overflowing. Now we are expressing that abundance, that unique capability, whatever it is, and we are blessing others with it. And that is the truth that called us into being. You're in alignment with it, and you're walking on that path for the right reasons, not just, hey, I want people to look at me. And if that's it, if you think that that's it, well, there's probably something deeper. I'm reminded of a quote from Arthur Ashe, who's pretty darn successful if you ask me. He said, I am not driven by an obsession to scratch my name indelibly on the pages of history. The years pass, and the world largely forgets the efforts of individuals. Yet those efforts are not in vain because they're forgotten. They may bear fruit in multiple ways. In a life helped here, in a single future brightened there. I could not forgive myself if I lived without purpose, without recognizing that the purest joy in life comes in trying to help others. So it's not just about us. It's about how can what we do uplift others. And the weird thing about uplifting others is that it is strangely rewarding. There are people who start doing their philanthropic efforts out of a sense of entitled ego. I am going to go to India and I am going to feed these poor people with my money or whatever, and then they get there or they send their money there and they start noticing this actually feels good. And it's not in a feels good because I now am the hero that saved the day. It feels good because you could see the direct results of your actions. And then don't be discouraged. There are people that I've met that say, well, when I did go to India, I noticed there are so many poor people there. I cannot help everyone. And they came back home a little bit dejected. Like, I couldn't help more. And I had to remind them of the story of the person walking on the beach with the starfish that had unnaturally I guess the story is there was a strange tide and it came in and left a lot of starfish on the shore instead of in the ocean where they belong. And from the story, it sounded like there were hundreds of them. And the sun was coming up and these starfish were going to bake in the sand if they weren't returned to the sea immediately. And no one person could do it all, but there was this person on the beach picking up a starfish and tossing it in like the discus toss in the Olympics, just tossing them in. and someone else came up to them and said, I don't know what you're doing. You can't possibly make a difference. Your efforts cannot possibly make a difference. And the person who's tossing it threw another one and said, made a difference with that one, and threw another one, made a difference again. And that's what we have to do. We have to think about not saving the world with our ego and our hubris. It's like we can really come through on a white horse and save the day for all humanity. Not really, but kind of. I mean, we can if what we can do is take what we're here to do and bless at least one other person with it. And by blessing them with it, I mean, in the case of the person with the starfish, I think it's pretty clear the blessing would be to remove the starfish off the beach and put it back in the ocean. And I would also like to say, when it comes to humans, you may want to ask first what they need, because there's nothing worse than somebody riding in and saving you by doing something you definitely didn't want to have happen. So if we come from a sense of, I'm here to serve, I want to take my gifts and use them in a way that serves and that uplifts. And then when we get the feedback that it's working, oh, that feeling is so good. I can't imagine being Leah right now. Like her music is so good and she just plays it. It comes through her. And I tell her, everybody's like, oh my God, that is so amazingly good. I have to imagine that she gets a nod from the universe that says, yes, you're on the right path. Keep doing that. And that's why we give from where we give. Whatever. I could never sing like that. I can't play a thing, but I can do other things, and I'll do that. And then people will tell me, oh, that was great. Thank you. And I'll feel good. I'll keep doing that. Each one of us has something that we're good at. And when we do it, we feel good about it. And we get feedback from other people that, yes, this was helpful. And so we keep doing that. And I'm not here to judge what it is. If it's a garbage collection thing, I say, put on your overalls and your thigh-high rubber boots and get to putting stuff in the trash cans and putting it in the big truck. And listen, next time I see my trash guy, I'm gonna say thank you, because this sermon is for me too. Because I want them to keep doing that. Keep doing whatever it is that you feel that you're called here to do. And then let the stuff that doesn't work for you, let it go right on by. We don't even have to fight it. Here's how you fight bad things. Do a lot of good things, right? You don't have to go to war against the XYZ. Just stand up and get busy creating so much good in that area that they can't help but notice. And that way we keep our elevated energy. We keep that feeling that we know that we're here on purpose. We're doing the right things with our days, because our days become our weeks become our months. Your life just whizzes by. And when we look back, we want to be able to say, I think I did okay here. I think I did all right. Take a nice deep breath and take it into prayer. There's only one power, one divine source moving through and as each and every one of us. It is only one source, but it is repeated in each and every one of us, ever so slightly different. Because the divine has myriad ways, infinite ways of representing itself, never repeating itself. And so as each and every one of us gets more comfortable going inward and listening and catching that glimpse of who we are, then we come outward and we give, we bless others from that overflow of divine gift. And then we allow that to replicate itself, allow that energy of giving from our special place. Let that have that domino effect and just bless all those around us. We are definitely changing the world by changing ourselves first. And so I speak my word for anyone who is in need of anything, I know that right here, right now, the divine presence of the allness, the universal abundance is showing up in their lives, each and every one of us. Whether it's in terms of wealth, health, well-being, wholeness, peace, joy, and just not feeling alone. I know that right here, right now, there's the presence of the divine rushing in and filling any voids. So I give thanks for this awareness. I know that as I speak right now, I know that energy is flowing. It is making each one of us better. The highest version of ourselves is revealing itself now. And I look forward to witnessing that unfold in the spiritual community and beyond. I give thanks for this awareness. I release it into the law, knowing it's already done. And so it is. Amen. Ashe. Hallelujah.
At the start of any given day, there is mystery available. There's a game waiting for an open heart to say yes. Here I am, I'll play. And if we're smart, we'll listen to the way, and all the misery that held us down, we'll let it fade. Let it be wiped out by the simple spark of a life that's waiting to be made. It's waiting to be made. What will you make of this day? What will you keep? What will you change? What will you see? And what will you believe? What will you make of your dreams? Will you keep sleeping, or will you awaken and decide what you will make? At the start of any given day, there is history and poetry. There is a play, but you're not in the audience. You are the star. So get out there and say what you will make. What will you make of this day? What will you keep? What will you change? And what will you see? What will you believe? What will you make of your dreams? Will you keep sleeping, or will you awaken and decide what you will make of this day? What will you keep? What will you change? What will you see? And what will you believe? What will you make of your dreams? Will you keep sleeping, or will you awaken and decide what you will make?
That was amazing. Hey, Kristen, would you like to do our thing? Okay.
Now is the time to bless the donations that are shared today. At CSL Leesburg, we believe in the law of circulation. So we are a tithing community, and the donations shared with our center bless everyone those who give and those who receive. Your donation helps our center, our CSL home organization, as well as local organizations and other organizations that support our vision of helping to create a world that works for everyone. And if you look at our screen, you'll see there are many ways to give. You can text it, you can Cash App it, you can mail it, you can PayPal, or you can visit www.csl.leesburg for easy access to these methods of giving as well. We thank you for your support. No matter how you're giving, take that gift physically or mentally and place it over your heart. And join us in our affirmation of oneness. The presence of spirit within me blesses everyone I meet, tends to heal everything I touch, brings gladness into the life of everyone I contact. Therefore, I'm a blessing to myself, to humankind, and to the day in which I live. And that's like the truest vocation, I think. Announcements. Dream Study, Tuesdays at 9 a.m., where you can talk about your dreams and discover messages from your subconscious mind and conscious mind that help you navigate the world in which you live in. And on September 21st, it is a World Peace Meditation. We hope you can join us. We're hosting this United Nations International Day of Peace. Now, I noticed that it's listed as Green Mountain Time, 12 a.m., and I think that's actually 7 p.m. on Wednesday. But if you wanted to do it live, I think it's at 7 a.m. I'm not sure. You have to do the Mountain Time and Eastern Time calculator. But we hope you can join us for that One Love, One World, One Peace meditation.
Hey, I'm adding into the spotlight here. Hey, y'all. Yes, Kristen's right. The whole organization is doing a worldwide, global, all day long on the 21st. We're going to participate at 7 p.m. on Wednesday. We're going to do our part. So join us at 7 p.m. Wednesday, September 21st to do our part in the global meditation thing. Thank you, Kristen. Back to you.
And we end our time together.
No.
No, we don't. We have one more thing, a fall class foundation class. It's online, and you can be part of this online community that reaches all around the world. Monday nights at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, starting 9/12. That's tomorrow. Cost $295 and length 10 weeks. That's 10 weeks of classes where you learn the essential concepts of science of mind and use the spiritual tools to create the life you desire. And also another fall class, so exciting, 7 Spiritual Laws of Success by Deepak Chopra, understanding our true nature in relationship to the key concepts of the 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. And you can sign up. It's on Zoom, cost $245, length 8 weeks. And you have to have the foundations class. Some of you already have that, so you could take this. You can sign up on our website. And our picnic, our 8th anniversary picnic is September 24th from 3 to 8 p.m. An Evite has been sent. If you didn't receive it, let us know. You can RSVP by September 15th, please. And please plan on bringing something to share, a side dish.
Okay, I don't have the final. Sorry, I didn't do the final part.
It's okay. For our final slide, we end the sacred time together by placing our hands over our hearts and saying to yourselves, I am love.
I am love.
And then open your eyes, maybe look into the screen and find somebody, or look around your room and find somebody, or look at a picture of somebody near you and say, you are love.
You are love.
And then put your hands up in the air and say, it is all love.
It is all.
It is all love. If you can stay for a few minutes, please join us for our virtual coffee hour where we share our pearls, our little nuggets of the talk today and things that we want to discuss with others, and just say hi and share a little greeting. So if you have to leave us, we know that you will have a day filled with love, joy, peace, understanding, compassion, and divine service. Thank you for joining us.